Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I have a deck profile for you. And in this video guys we're going to be taking a look at one of the new Pokemon, well, new cards I guess you should say, from Sun and Moon. And this is a cool little fun deck that is actually pretty cool to play and has a neat little concept to it. And the list will be down in the description below so you can guys go check it out. But this is going to be a Golduck deck profile. So Golduck in my opinion is one of the coolest Pokemon from Gen 1. So we got a 4/4 line of it. It has a pretty cool little attack too. It has scratch for 20, but the real attack we're going to be taking a look at here is going to be Double Jet. Discard up to 2 water energy cards from your hand. This attack does 60 damage for each card you discard it in this way. So you discard 1, that's 60. Discard 2, that's 120. But if you discard 3, that is 180. Now, that doesn't sound too good on paper, but we have a little partner for it. And it's going to be a fellow water type Pokemon from Gen 1. And that is going to be Starmie from Evolutions. So Starmie has an ability called Space Beacon. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, put 2 basic energy cards from discard pile into your hand. And the cool thing about this basically is you discard any card from your hand and you put 2 water energy back into your hand, and then you can do 120 basically right off the bat right there. And if you have another water energy in your hand, well, what was that? Okay, that was my PlayStation. I'm sorry. But you can just attach, you just attach 1 water to Golduck, and then you can just start discarding and doing a decent amount of damage. And with Starmie, you're guaranteed 120. And so I thought this was a cool idea, and I wanted to cover it. So we also have, oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to keep this a 1 prize deck, and I'm going to go over why I played this over Shaman. 2/2 Octillery. Basically, what I wanted to go for is a 1 prize deck, like I just said. But on top of that, after playing a little bit and after talking to a couple people that have played this deck, getting into 1 really hurts you. And on top of that, of course, Shaman, everything in this deck has low HP, so Shaman just kind of seems like that's going to be hurting you even more than it's helping you, because you play it down once and that's it. But I went for Octillery because, of course, you have Abyssal Hand, which means you can draw until you have 5 cards. And if you have Starmie on your field, that means that one of those 5 cards could just be potentially something you can discard. And with how you're discarding your hand like crazy, Octillery just kind of seemed like a pretty solid Pokemon. And, of course, I run 4 Dive Ball in this deck, so that means, and 3 Level Balls, so that means I can just kind of go for these Pokemon very easily. Now, something cool about Golduck, of course, is it's a stage 1. And it's a water type, so you're going to be able to hit Volcanion for weakness. But on top of that, you put in Jolteon and Flareon. I run a 1/2, by the way. If you guys want to thicken that line and throw another Eevee in there, go right for it. You play Jolteon and Flareon. That means you can hit decks like Eevee and just whatever else might be weak to electric that might spring up. And you can hit Decidueye GX, which I think Flareon actually might potentially become a little more popular. And so that's why I included Flareon in this deck, is because, well, you can discard 2 energy and 1-shot a Decidueye, which could be a problem for this deck. I really see that being a potential problem, because all of your stuff has such low HP that they can kind of just sit there and Feather Arrow and pick off all your cards. And I really think with the combination of Starmie, of course, yes, this is a lot of crap to get out, of course, but that's what a fun deck is. It's a crazy strategy that just might work. Basically, you have Flareon out, makes this a fire type, and you can, of course, discard any card from your hand, get back 2 energy, and do Double Jet for 120 with a fire Pokemon out. That's ×2. That hits for exactly 240, which will knock out Decidueye. So, that is why I included this. Of course, if you want to throw another Eevee in there, definitely go for it. One of the problems I do see is as soon as that Eevee will go down, more than likely a triple Feather Arrow will take it out. So, just a caution there. But yeah, that was my idea there. Well, not really my idea. I've seen this deck before and I just wanted to cover it. But anyway, that'll do it for the Pokemon. Next up, supporters for Sycamore. You guys know me. I love Sycamore. 2N, same thing. Good draw supporter. Lysandre is going to be your best friend, because on top of that, Double Jet hits for 120, which means that knocks out Shaman. And so they start playing down Shaman. You have a Starmie. Well, you can just start picking off Shamans, and that makes this deck kind of awesome, because you're picking off like one of them, like probably the most popular Pokemon card in the game because it's in basically everything, and you're giving up one prize opposed to them giving up two, and you can also hit for a decent amount of damage. I think this deck is actually pretty cool. So yeah, Lysandre can just allow you to pick off stuff, and allows you to pull up those Decidui and take them out the game. You guys know me. I love Lillie. I'm considering buying a full art because of how much I play this card. It is in everything I build. I love this card. So I have to include a Lillie. If you don't want to include a Lillie, well, you can definitely take something out for it. But next up we have Brock's Grit. I actually just now finally got this card. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I just didn't buy one. But Brock's Grit can actually be a very, very strong card in this deck because you can shuffle in, let's see, a combination of 6. So you can shuffle in a 2/2 line along with 2 energy. Just all kinds of stuff. Brock's Grit is a very good card because, of course, Golduck will be your only attacker in this deck. And on top of that, you can shuffle in your Starmie. And so that's a pretty good thing there. And then teammates. Teammates, everything in this deck has very low HP. And so I decided, you know, throw a teammates. You can grab anything that you need. And it just kind of seemed like a duh supporter for this deck. Alright, so that is going to do it for the supporters. Except for the VS Seeker. Yeah, of course. Now, I want to apologize for what you're about to see. I don't like doing this. I don't. But I could not, for the life of me, find my dive ball. Okay? If you guys don't know what dive ball is for some reason, I highly doubt that you don't know what it is. Take a second to Google it. 4 dive ball. I'm sorry, I hate doing it. And 3 level ball. Okay, dive ball. Search your deck for a water type. It can get anything in this deck, period. It was way too strong not to put in there. Well, except for the Eevee line, of course. That is why the level balls are also included. Level ball can get anything in this deck, period. Which is why I was even considering 3 level ball, maybe, or 4 level ball, 3 dive ball potentially. You can kind of switch those numbers back and forth if you want to. But, yeah. On top of that, I thought, put a high amount of ball cards in here. Not only is your deck going to be completely consistent, because basically you can search out anything whenever you want, but also with having a lot of them in here, and if you have your Pokemon all out and good to go, well, they're targets for Starmie. So, I thought that was really good. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of experimenting with these. You could go 4 and 3, but since like majority of the stuff you're going to be grabbing out of your deck is going to be water type, that's why I went for the 4 dive ball. 3 Trainer's Mail, just to hopefully fetch out some stuff out of your deck if you can get lucky out the top 4. And I know what you're thinking, more than likely, what the heck does this do against Garbodor? I included 2 Energy Retrieval. I wanted to include a Fisherman, but I completely forgot about it. And I was already testing this deck, and I just couldn't figure out what to take out for it. But you can definitely run a Fisherman. I feel like that could be a really good card to include in this deck, because you're getting 4 to your hand, which could turn into like 180 plus potentially. But yeah, 2 Energy Retrieval. On top of that, it just kind of allows you to have explosive play, or just allows you not to have to rely on Starmie's ability completely. But basically, this deck really needs these 2 cards, and that's why I think a Fisherman might be good to put in here potentially, just because of how good it can just turn out to be. And so I put in 2 of these here because I knew if you played against Garbodor, well, you're going to have trouble. And if you're able to Energy Retrieval on Lysandre and just pick off the Garbodor and get it out of the, just get it off the field, then that could work out for you. Next up, 2 Floodstone. Every time I play Octillery, people like to Lysandre up Octillery and just, pass until it's knocked out. And on top of that, Starmie, of course, has 1 retreat cost. That's not too bad. But yeah, this is mostly in here just to put on your Octilleries because that is so annoying. 1 Super Rod. Really, I wanted to have something in here I could shuffle my Pokemon back into my deck and it not be a supporter. Maybe you can throw this out for a Fisherman or something like that. No pun intended. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to have a Super Rod here. I usually include Super Rod in majority of the things that I build. But I just wanted to make sure you can get your Pokemon into your deck as soon as possible and as consistently as possible as soon as they go down, because it doesn't take much to knock out Golduck. And then Professor's Letter. I stopped running this card after a while, but I figured with this deck it makes no sense not to. Because if you don't have any energy in your hand, and for some reason you have this card in your hand, you can just play it and get 2 into your hand and go from there. If you don't have any in your discard pile, of course. But yeah, Professor's Letter just kind of seemed like a good route. Something else I was wanting to include potentially was maybe a Skyla. There was like a lot of one-of supporters that I wanted to put in this deck, but I knew that it might throw off the consistency a little bit. And with how I have it built, the list was kind of tight, so that was an issue there. Next up, the Energy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I went for all Sun and Moon Water Energy because I love how they look. I think that is a very cool picture. But 10 Water Energy, I originally started off with 13, and then I went from 13 to 11, and 11 to 10. But yeah, these are going to be like the main, like I guess like the gas of the deck, because it really relies on discarding these. And yeah, your whole deck functions around what you can do with your energy. But this deck is so easy to play. I think anyone can pick it up and start playing it. And it's a lot of fun. You know, that's something I've been really doing on my channel lately, is I've been covering a lot of fun decks. This deck, it's cool. It does lose kind of easy if your opponent kind of knows what to do. Like I said, the ends to 1 can really hurt this deck, because your deck's pretty much focused around having these big hands that you can play stuff out of and getting your energy into your discard pile, energy from your discard pile back to your hand. And if they Lysandre up your Starmie and knock it out and end you to 1, or like if they Lysandre your Starmie, end you to 1, and then knock out Starmie, you are going to be set back just horribly. But for the most part, this is just a starting list. This is a list that is very changeable. This is a list that you guys can take and kind of switch it around, fix it, do whatever you want to it. Make it better than the one I have already, because you guys are better than me, I know that. But strategy is very simple. Starmie gets them to your hand, discard them with Golduck, do some damage, and then you have Jolteon and Flareon there to deal with some popular meta choices. What do you do against Gardevoir and stuff like that? I'm not sure. I imagine this deck loses to quite a bit of stuff. But that's the point of a fun deck. You have fun with it, you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe for some more content. And this is your boy, Epic Pokemon TCG, signing out. Take care, guys.